On this joyous day of thanks, we mustn't forget what they stole from us. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. If you're thankful for someone today, send them Locked On Big 12 to show your thanks. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. This holiday season, we cannot forget that the Big 12, Brett Yormark, stole what was rightfully ours and easily could have been the crux of our conference, the magnum opus of what our league does every year. The king, the crown jewel of exposure is gone. And that is Rivalry Week. Imagine this. This is a tweet from Throwback Frog where he argues that Rivalry Week would fix the entire exposure issue of the Big 12. Brett Yormark said no to this. BYU and Utah. Kansas State, Iowa State, which thank God we get. TCU against Baylor. Arizona State, Arizona, we also get. Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Kansas and Colorado, West Virginia and Cincinnati, UCF and Houston. It is almost too logical to play the biggest games in the conference, the most meaningful games in the conference on the last weekend of the season. Brett Yormark came out when he built the schedule and said, we're going to do things our own way. We don't want to get bumped by Alabama and Auburn. We don't want to get bumped. We want to have our biggest games showcased on weekends where they can shine. Well, nay, I say, Brett Yormark, on this, a day of thanks, I am thankful for those big matchups, but I am unthankful, ungrateful for when they were placed. Imagine this. You're looking live, Rice-Eccles Stadium. The 9-2 BYU Cougars against the upset-hungry Utah Utes. That would be so much cooler than, so we're here. BYU's playing Houston, I think. You know, the luster of Rivalry Week. What about Kansas State, Iowa State this weekend? What you do get with that, there's a reason, okay? Let me unpack a bit here. I'm going to leave Valonia, Arkansas on Saturday at 5:30 in the morning to drive to Ames, Iowa to watch that game. Why? Rivalry, ranked game, Big 12 championship on the line for both teams. Why wouldn't I go there? But what if there was a choice? What if there were games across the conference where it was me thinking, should I go see BYU, Utah? Should I go see Kansas State, Iowa State? Should I go see Baylor, TCU? Because one of those teams is still somehow in the hunt. But we don't get that. We don't get this pent up, everybody hates everybody for one weekend. We do Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then when Friday kicks off, you best bet Baylor and TCU are at noon. Then Texas Tech and Oklahoma State, who really don't like each other, are at 3:30. And then Kansas and Colorado, which is kind of a weird rivalry, but it's left over from the old Big 12, and they're not really friends. And they both were pretty bad at football for a long time, but it's cool that they hate each other. That's at 7:30. Instead, we get Cincinnati and TCU. What? That's not the spirit of the weekend. Today we were supposed to rejoice. Tomorrow we relish in football. We get Memphis and Tulane tonight. Ha ha ha. But what we don't get are the quintessential Big 12 rivalries. And you could argue, say, Drake, there are no quintessential Big 12 rivalries. Like rivalries. Like 3 of these games matter. 3 of these are actually, we hate that other team. Well, you know what? There's only one way to fix that. By building in a rivalry weekend. And maybe I wouldn't be so upset with Brett Yormark if he had if he had the courage to do the right thing and built a rivalry week last week or 2 weeks ago where everybody plays their rival. Aha! How fun. We know that week 12 every year, the Big 12 has BYU and Utah and Kansas and Colorado and even UCF and Houston. But no, we just sprinkle them throughout the season. You have the opportunity for a massive day of PR on the last day of the season where the most consequential matchups are rivalry matchups. Farmageddon, to the Rivalry, to the Holy War, to the Continental Divide, and even what has been coined by Throwback Frog, the Space Race, UCF and Houston. Those two teams don't hate each other. But if we place them on a rivalry weekend where everybody else is playing their rivals, I bet they'll start to hate each other more. Oh, you can't force it. You can. I've seen it. Grew up an Arkansas fan. We didn't give a rat's butt about Missouri. But then one day, some genius came along and was like, you know what? Arkansas LSU battle for the boot. That rivalry game was no longer the last weekend of the year. Now it's Arkansas and Missouri in the borderline battle or whatever they called it. Oh, that's stupid. But then as stupid as we thought it was, Missouri started winning every single one of those games. And Arkansas fans are like, this sucks. We don't like them by virtue of the fact that we keep losing to them. You can build that kind of exposure. For a game that doesn't matter to the entire country, let's make it matter. Instead of giving them Oklahoma State and Colorado. Those two teams aren't really related. They used to play in the old Big 12, but it doesn't tickle my fancy. It doesn't make me happy to watch that this weekend. And you've nailed it with a couple. You just showed me you could do it with Iowa State and Kansas State, with Arizona State. But I'm not here to watch Kansas and Baylor. I'm excited for that game. Utah and UCF. I'm excited for those games, but they shouldn't be on rivalry week. We're just going to fold it in. We're going to pack in camp. All right, good to see you guys. Great to have everybody here. We're not going to do rivalry week. We're going to let everybody else do that. We're going to do our own thing because we don't feel like we can compete with their rivalry weeks. No. Do you not bring the cranberry sauce? Do you not bring the sweet potatoes just because you think it'll be overshadowed by the broccoli and cheese casserole, by the macaroni and cheese, by the rolls? Of course not. You still bring the cranberry sauce to the table and you let it compete. You let it fight. And sometimes it wins. Yeah, everybody wants to eat the turkey. I know. But the ham's still there. Don't pack the ham in and save it for Christmas. Bring the ham for those who want to eat the ham. Me, I think ham is objectively better than turkey. I say objectively as if that wasn't the most subjective statement of all time. That's what I want. We, the Big 12, might not be the turkey, but by God, we're at least the ham. And the ham should be there. Never forget what they took from you. Don't. You deserved this. You deserved a Thanksgiving weekend, a Black Friday, a rivalry Saturday, packed with Big 12 games. That is my soapbox. I stand upon it. I say, why, Brett Yormark, why? You did this to us, and you canceled Farmageddon being a yearly thing. Ugh. I can only pray for new expansion in this conference so that the schedule is all switched around and you fix this, what you've done. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, where this weekend I will celebrate with my family. And then I will drive to Ames, Iowa, and I will say, I think Iowa State's going to win this football game. Iowa State -2.5. Give it to me at FanDuel.com. You put $5 down today and you hit that bet. You get $150 in bonus bets, which is good. That's good. That's right, $5 down, and you hit the bet. You get $150 in bonus bets at FanDuel.com. Live bets. You can look at live play-by-play, view the box score, and live stats. All in one place, the FanDuel app. You download it today. You utilize FanDuel.com. It's going to be good for you, man. Just trust me on this one. FanDuel.com. It's your place to go. It's your place to be. FanDuel.com, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. That's it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you know that I'm rooting for you. Whoever you are, I hope you're rooting for me. I don't even know what that meant. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande. I'm going to mull it out.